Hi F1 fans, just finished editing our interview with Lando Norris, and he's humble, hardworking, and as you already know, so much fun. Join us here, we're going to pick up the conversation with him telling us just how much he enjoyed bringing all that excitement to F1 fans around the world with his podium in Austria.
I'm still shocked about the whole thing. I don't know how I think about grown women jumping up and down. Grown men and women, not just women. But it's cool. What I've seen on social media, it's weird because there's no fans. So that's something that makes it so cool. Is especially you're on the podium and you look across and you see all the fans and everything. And now we do it and it's just nothing. So it's all the podiums McLaren have had in the last 5 years, I would say, it's only 2 podiums, have been quite odd because obviously Carlos's one didn't know if he was on the podium and then just celebrated it with the team, and my one, it's not shared with the fans as much as a normal podium. So it was weird, but I think the impact it's had on the team, the impact and effect it had on for all the people watching and supporting me on social media and everything. It's been pretty awesome to see their reaction and drawings and paintings of it all. It's I don't know. It's hard to explain it all, but it's just been very special.
So when we stood up, we didn't sit down, we didn't have time. In February when you launched the MTL 35, you said to me this season you wouldn't over-expect anything.
Yeah.
But now you've actually tasted the champagne, had your hands on a trophy. How does that change your mindset?
Well, actually, I didn't even taste the champagne. I hate champagne. So that's why all of it went over my head and into my team. I just sprayed my team with it rather than drinking any of it myself. So it's weird because, we've had 2 amazing first 2 races of the season. Incredible, and more than we ever were expecting or thought was going to be possible. But I guess if anything is going to happen, the first race of the season is when things are going to happen. So I think we just had a very good race, and we just capitalized on everyone's mistakes and penalties and crashes and not having the best pit stops and everything. And we just had a very nice race. And I guess, coming into the season, we were never expecting this. We were thinking, all right, we need to try confirm this P4 in the championship and try and take that next step forward. So you always want to think that something could happen, but you never know. I was going in a race and thinking, right, or our plan was if we can be P7, P8 or P6 possibly, we were going to be very happy with that. So then going in and kind of planning and racing for that, and then ending up on the podium is just quite a weird kind of feeling. And it's hard to know where to place your expectations going into every race, because of course you want it to turn into something special like it did, but at the same time, when it doesn't go, like the final race last weekend, when it doesn't go to expectation, it kind of brings you a bit more back down to reality. And I was P13 and I made a stupid mistake in the start of the race. But I think we still know where we stand as a team, what we're capable of doing. And honestly, I don't think we're capable of doing podiums. We're not capable of doing podiums every single race. So we've got to extract a bit more performance out the car if we're going to do that. But you just really need to find a fine line of taking chances and risks to try and end up in this position, but then also knowing what's possible for you and settling sometimes for not such an amazing position for those points.
Takes me on to Hungary, actually, and something after the race. I'm sure, again, you're quite familiar with, and the love you would have received on social media for this picture of you. Honestly, I'm not just saying it because I'm sat in front of you. It's the most beautiful thing I've seen in F1 for so long. Yeah. But it was pure. You look back at all these cars behind us here. You look back to the 80s, 70s. That's what those guys used to do. What does that picture, do you think, say about this? I want to say growing excitement and kind of team unity that you guys have all got here?
Well, I think teamwork within Formula One is one of the most important things. It's not just about the driver or just about the team. It's really about how you work together. And I guess this was also trying to help the guys because it's been a long 3 weeks for them, or 4 weeks almost. But it's something I love doing anyway, and I've done this multiple times. Back all the way to 2018 when I was the testing reserve driver, and I was at the races sometimes. Normally you always fly back Sunday evening. But normally, or this weekend, and sometimes in 18 and 19, I would fly back the next day, and I would just want to spend time with the mechanics, and we chat. But I also get to take a Formula One car apart, which is just cool. I don't know why more people wouldn't want to try and do it, and you really see what makes Formula One cars so special when you're taking it apart and you see all these bits of technology put together. It's pretty awesome to do, and I mean, I love doing it because I get to just spend more time with the team, and they love it as well at the same time that they get to spend time with the driver, and it's more of a team kind of effect that it has. But it's not the only reason I do it. I do it because I just enjoy doing it. I was a kid at school and at home that would always take things apart, put it together, and there'd always be that one screw left that you know where it kind of goes. But it's just good fun, and I think doing these things has been a big part of turning the team around from where we were those 3 years ago or so. Not just in performance, but of morale and atmosphere within the team. And kind of since I joined, I've tried to. I've just loved doing this anyway, and I loved spending time with the mechanics and the engineers, just because I enjoy it. And I love working on the car, but too, knowing that if I wanted to be with a team that can be capable of winning races and championships, there's got to be more unity and more enthusiasm within the whole team. And me spending time with them and working on the car and so on has been one of those key aspects of trying to turn the mentality of the team around, and get them working that bit harder and so on. I think that's what you got to do if you want to be able to win races, and you want to have a team around you that can win championships and so on, is by getting them working together even better than you ever thought they could. So I guess it's 2 reasons. One, because I want to win races and I want them to work at their best, and 2, because I just love being at Formula One tracks, working around the Formula One cars, and just spending time with the team.
Me too. I love it as well. It's a grin on my face. But do you know what you've shown though, which you may not even be aware of?
Yeah.
It's amazing leadership.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever come across that idea in your mind, that the fact that you just did it, you didn't even think twice about it. You got straight in there and you wanted to learn about everyone's roles. Is great leadership. And actually, there's a little birdie who's around somewhere, and he said that before you drove the car, you were very keen on learning about it around different departments inside McLaren. What drove you to have that, inquisition and get to know everyone before you even step foot in a car?
Well, I guess it was a bit more of this kind of team unity, and I was still the new driver for them, and I was at end of 18 into 19, so when I was going into my role of being their F1 driver. And of course I was part of the team, but I didn't know all of them, and I didn't know people that work in all these different sections of McLaren that you see around you. And I was going into all these different departments, some which are downstairs, and one just going to say hello, because it's not often, they see the final product and they see it on the track performing, but they don't see the drivers. They don't see a lot of the people that do it at the racetrack when they're actually back here in MTC. So it was a chance just for me to go and say hello, and also for them to see the driver for that year. But too, just because I got to do some cool stuff too. I got to build like a carbon helmet and stand and everything, which is in the shop here, and trimming it all and working with a lot of the different guys and girls around MTC. So one, it was just to get me more integrated with knowing everyone and working with everyone. And then secondly, for that point of trying to get everyone together and working a bit harder and more efficiently and so on, just to kind of bring up that atmosphere and make it even better. So I guess that was the whole reasoning behind it, me getting to know everyone a bit more, and 2, because I wanted to have a bit of fun.
We've got a double header at a really power hungry track, which everybody knows and loves. I know that I think you went out in an F3 car, didn't you, before lockdown ended, just to kind of get rid of the ring rust. But just for fans out there, obviously, who have seen slightly different performance from the team so far this year, can they expect more of a Hungary style performance, given it's a power track, or are we looking at more of an Austria style performance?
Difficult. I think in the middle. I think there should have better opportunities. It's a slightly easier track to overtake on than Budapest. 2, I think some of the corners and the characteristics of that track play a bit more into our favour. But maybe not as much as, say, what Austria was. I think Austria is just a very good track for us, highlights a lot of our positives and strengths in the car. Budapest maybe on the lower end, so I don't know. I think we're confident going into it that we can do a better job than last weekend, but at the same time, it's hard to know what every other team thinks, especially with them having quite different cars to what they had last year, and being as fast as what some of them have been so far this year. It's hard to know, but I don't know. I think it'll be more exciting in terms of the racing and everything, which I guess is probably the best thing for the fans. Is that it's going to be more overtaking, more action than Budapest, which is probably the key to it all. But our performance, I don't know. It's something which, it's still 4th race of the season, so it's still early doors, and every track and different, like even tarmac type and everything suits different cars. So it's hard to judge going into these races where we're going to be or where we stand compared to other teams. But we have a bit of an idea, and it's just we think we'll be a bit better than Hungary, not as good as Austria.
There's no fans, as you've said many times, and we won't have fans at Silverstone for these 2 races. When you're sat on the grid, lights are going out, and you don't see any fans, given that you've got this incredible rapport with so many social media users, whether it's Twitch or Instagram or wherever, do you know, though, intrinsically, that they're with you virtually almost, even though you're not at the end of your phone right there, even though there's nobody in the grandstands?
I mean, in some ways, yes. Especially over lockdown and streaming, being a full-time streamer, I kind of grown that side of my following a lot from the Twitch and people who don't watch Formula One as much. I'm playing COD, say, with some of these legends. I guess it's maybe not so much when you're in the moment, because when the lights are going out, I'm thinking, all right, I need to be reacting to these lights. But then after seeing the messages from people, most people would never expect to be chatting to a Formula One driver or someone in Formula One. And like a lot of these COD pros and people that are streaming on Twitch, I guess it's cool seeing those people watch it. And some of them which have never watched Formula One before, and until I played with them or we streamed together on Twitch or something. I guess these are the higher profiled people on streams, but then I guess I still have the big following of Instagram and just everyone else that's following me, which is awesome. And seeing their support, and like we said, the photos and the videos and everything that they do, it means more than what a lot of people think. Like when I'm reading through it, and obviously there's a lot of messages, and I try and read some of them, but it's difficult to read all of them. But it's just cool, and it means a lot to me anyway. I don't know about the other drivers, but seeing these messages and the positive messages, it's a nice thing to read every now and then. So yeah, I welcome them every time. People tweeting me and so on. But it is cool to know that my following is getting bigger, but at the same time I have more fans which have come from different areas, and I'm having a bit of an impact in showing people more of what Formula One is from the people who would never watch it in the first place, kind of thing. So it's cool that I have that bit of an effect on it, and I hopefully can continue doing that.
Thank you very much for your time. There you have it, Lando Norris. Who knew the man we all thought was the biggest joker in the paddock would be in fact so focused on detail and the inner working of his team. If you're interested in using this or any of the video content on this page, send an inquiry via our website, SNTV.com.